Welcome to my YouTube channel Applied Veterinary Medicine. Today, we are going to talk about the topic swine influenza. Introduction. Swine influenza is a significant cause of broncho-interstitial pneumonia in pig-keeping regions worldwide. The rapid genetic changes in the virus, such as genetic drift or shift, pose challenges. Etiology. Classical clinical swine influenza is associated with influenza of virus subtypes H1N1, H1N2, and H3N2 from the Orthomyxovirus genus. Other subtypes have been found in pigs but haven't become widespread. Influenza viruses are prevalent in various species, including humans, pigs, horses, and birds. Avian viruses are more stable, whereas mammalian viruses evolve faster. Virus subtypes vary in their ability to cross species barriers. Unstable gene constellations in avian species become stable in secondary hosts. Transmission mechanisms across species barriers are not well understood. Virus naming and subtypes. New variants are named using the convention A, species, localization, isolate number per year, e.g., A. Wisconsin, 125/98. Hemagglutinin, HA, and neuraminidase, Na, antigens on the virus surface are crucial for its function. There are 16 HA and 9 Na forms, all of which have occurred in waterfowl and shorebirds. The segmented virus genome allows for changes through antigenic drift and shift. The segmented genome encodes for 10 or 11 proteins. The M segment was crucial for the transmission of the 2009 pandemic virus. Transmission and reassortment. Pigs have both avian and mammalian virus receptors, making them potential mixing vessels. The virus undergoes two types of changes: antigenic drift, small changes, and antigenic shift, whole segment changes. Reassortant strains may emerge every 2 to 3 years. Globally, 3 types of swine influenza viruses are found: H1N1, H3N2, and H1N2. In Europe, 3 SIV subtypes circulate: avian-like H1N1, human-like H3N2, and subtype H1N2 reassortant. H1N1. Classical. In the United States, H1N1 viruses were found independently until 1998 and resembled the 1918 pandemic virus. Since 1998, the appearance of other viruses, especially triple reassortants, has increased the genetic diversity of H1N1 strains. A typical reassortant found in Ohio had genes from humans, PB1, swine, NA, HA, NP, M, and NS, and avian sources, PB2 and PA. Even within a short period, there was evidence of antigenic drift. H1N1. Others human-like H1N1 viruses have been found in Canada, and similar viruses with human H1 have spread across North America. A triple reassortant H1N1 virus in China had genes from classical swine influenza, humans, and avian sources, closely related to H1N2 viruses in China. H1N1 avian-like in the late 1970s. Wild bird H1N1 viruses were transmitted to pigs, creating a stable lineage that replaced the classical H1N1 swine lineage. An H1N1 virus isolated from a turkey farm in Germany in 2009 was linked to avian-like porcine H1N1 viruses, suggesting turkeys as potential transmission bridges. The predominance of avian-like swine genes in Thai pigs has been noted, with experimental transmission showing the virus spread without causing clinical signs. H1N1 human-like viruses in pigs. Human-like viruses were reported in pigs in China before the pandemic, indicating that pigs could act as reservoirs for older human H1N1 viruses. H1N1 pandemic 2009. There is no evidence that the 2009 pig H1N1 pandemic existed in pig. The virus is a reassortant of genes from North America's triple reassortant and European avian-like H1N1 viruses. Precursors may have existed in swine for an extended period, indicating long-term evolution. A direct precursor hasn't been identified. It transmits very effectively between pigs. The H1 gene of the PDM 2009 virus has different evolutionary characteristics compared to seasonal human and swine H1N1 viruses. The pandemic virus interacts intensely with endemic SIV lineages, potentially creating more reassortants with yet-to-be-determined properties. Mono-reassortant of the NA from an H1N1 with the pandemic occurred in Hungary. The N2 gene from 3 different porcine lineages was found in an H1N1 PDM backbone in Germany. 6 new strains of the PDM-like H1N1 2009 virus were isolated in Poland, belonging to one lineage, affecting pigs with acute respiratory signs, high morbidity, and low mortality. Novel reassortants followed the 2009 virus, indicating ongoing significant viral evolution. A novel swine reassortant in the United Kingdom had internal genes from the 2009 virus, HA and NA genes from a swine subtype H1N2 virus. A reassortant was found in Canada from an H3N2 and a pandemic H1N1 2009 virus on several pig farms and in mink. Another reassortant had the NA glycoprotein of the PDM09 virus replaced by the NA gene from either H1N2 or H3N2 European swine viruses. Various reassortants of the 2009 virus have been found in countries such as Italy, Argentina, Germany, China, Thailand, and the United States. 9 reassortants were described across the United States. Before May 2009. After its discovery in Canada in 2009, it spread rapidly worldwide, with most pig cases originating from humans. The virus proved capable of causing significant issues in swine, with initial incursions into European pigs suggesting human-to-pig transmission. A reassortant of the PDM-H1N1 2009 virus with an H3N2 virus from healthy pigs has been reported in Thailand. H1N2 since 2005. The human HA gene in H1N2 has spread across North America. A novel reassortant in H1N2 had the NA and HA from recent H1N2 isolates in the United States and 4 internal genes, PB2, PB1, PA, and NS, from the contemporary swine triple reassortants, TRIG. The NP and M genes were derived from the 2009 pandemic H1N1. An avian-like H1N2 SIV generated by reassortment of circulating avian-like H1N1 and H3N2 subtypes has been described in Denmark. The Danish H1N2 has an avian-like H1 and differs from most other H1N2s in Europe and North America, which have H1 genes of human or classical swine origin. This variant is also circulating in Italy and Sweden. The infection dynamics of the Danish H1N2 are similar to other assorted H1N2s and older avian-like H1N1 subtypes. A novel reassortant influenza A, H1N2, virus derived from A, H1N1, virus Japan PDM09 has been described for the first time in Japan. H3N2, classical H3N2 variants arrived in the United States from 1998 onward, North Carolina, Iowa, Minnesota, Texas, possibly circulating previously without establishing a stable lineage. Most H3N2 are triple reassortants from human, HA, NA, PB1, swine, NS, NP, M, and avian, PB2, PA, lineages. By 1999, H3N2 was widespread in the United States. These variants are phylogenetically grouped into 3 distinct human-like lineages, with a 4th cluster emerging. A study of 97 isolates showed genetic and serologic differences among North American isolates, indicating a tendency for reassortment. H3N2. Novel and non-contemporary H3N2 virus was found to be a wholly human H3N2 virus. Triple reassortant H3N2 civs have formed a stable lineage in Canadian swine. Novel H3N2 viruses in humans in the United States have been linked to state fairs and pig contact. The 2011 variant includes internal gene segments from the pandemic H1N1 2009. 7 novel H3N2 viruses were isolated from U.S. pigs between winter 2010 and spring 2011, containing internal gene segments from the pandemic H1N1 2009. A novel avian-like H3N2 containing an H5N1 highly pathogenic segment was described in southern China. An influenza A, H3N2, virus from pigs was reported to cause mild interstitial pneumonia and oronasal shedding for about 14 days. These strains may cause disease in both humans and pigs due to likely low cross-immunity. Other viruses, 2H5N1 influenza viruses, were isolated from swine in Jiangsu Province, China, with similar findings in Indonesia. These often reach pigs from avians, particularly ducks. H2N3 viruses were isolated from farms in central United States, likely of waterfowl origin, suggesting good adaptation to different mammalian hosts. H3N1 sieves have been isolated from pigs with respiratory disease in Korea and Italy, with genes from human viruses and currently circulating swine viruses. Novel viruses can emerge in pigs at any time. An avian H4N6 virus appeared in Canada in 1999, linked to waterfowl. An avian-like H4N8 SIV was discovered in southern China. European strains of SIV reassort every 2 to 3 years, suggesting future reassortments with new human pandemic strains, 2009. High genetic compatibility exists between swine origin H1N1 and highly pathogenic avian H5N1 influenza viruses. Avian H5N1 viruses in birds in Indonesia have been transmitted to pigs but become attenuated. H5N2 reassortant viruses have been characterized from pigs in Korea. Serologic surveillance in China showed no naturally occurring H5N1 infection in pigs. A highly pathogenic turkey H5N1 virus failed to infect pigs cohoused with infected chicks or chickens.